one. Live. Nope. Live.
Live, but no one has a... There we go.
Yeah, nobody can hear you, Kelsey. Welcome to the Williams Lake Studio Theater. We are on location in Williams Lake. My name's Todd Sullivan.
Kelsey Bell.
And we've got quite a group of people here with us today. We're just going to pass the microphone around and let everyone introduce themselves. We'll start.
Our role?
Yes, and your role, please.
I'm Sharon Hoffman, and I am your fairy godmother.
I'm Aidan Duggan, and I am the king.
I'm Brian Johns, and I am Prince Christopher.
I'm Kirsten Lyons, and I'm Cinderella.
I'm Marina Kemsel, and I played Joy, one of the wicked stepsisters.
I'm Helen Jones, and I play Portia, the other stepsister.
And I think the director has just arrived.
Perfect timing.
Hello, Sandy. And in case you didn't catch that from the names in the cast, we are talking about a production of Cinderella by Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Did we tell the audience where we are?
Yes.
Williams Lake?
Yes.
Oh, I wasn't listening, sorry. We're in Williams Lake.
A quality I appreciate having in a co-host is one who doesn't listen when I'm talking. So let's start with how did you guys get involved with this particular show? Who wants to start?
I'll start. I love music, and I love doing musicals, and so the opportunity came up to do Cinderella. So I thought, yeah, I'm in. Want to do Cinderella. Want to do a musical.
Awesome. And now that we have, Sandy, you're here. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Sandy Alaric, and I'm the director of Cinderella. I've never done one of these before. What do I do now?
Well, if you're done, you would hand the mic back.
Yeah, okay.
Although I'm going to ask you another question, so the mic's going to go right back to you. Because I want to know how it was that, how did you land on wanting to do this particular show?
You know, I thought about that because I knew that would be asked, and I really don't know. Cinderella is a story that's, particularly for every little girl, Cinderella has been a part of their life. Going to the ball and marrying the prince and all that sort of thing. And I think short answer is that my granddaughter's 7 years old. And it was something I wanted to do, that I could have kids in the audience and an appeal to younger people. It's a Christmas production. So that makes it a lot of fun to do as well. And also, I figured it was time. We had the bodies, the talented bodies that would be able to do and put on a very good, what I think, but I think we've got a good cast, and because of those people that were available, I think that was part of the reason too. But yeah, I'll blame it on my 7-year-old granddaughter.
Thanks. When you say it's a Christmas production, is that just because you mean it's coming out around Christmas, or is there Christmas notes in the production itself? No, there's no okay.
No, we're actually setting it. We're actually setting it more or less with all the flowers and everything. It's going to be set more in the spring, early summer. But because it is a youth play, and we're doing the 2 matinees, which are geared towards, being able to get our kids out, so it's not a school evening for them to be coming out. It's one of those feel-good, lighthearted. Everybody goes home hopefully with a smile on their face and feeling good about the Christmas season coming up.
And was there, because I'm sure there must be multiple stage versions of Cinderella at this point. Was there a particular reason that you wanted to do either just a musical in general or specifically the Rodgers and Hammerstein version?
When I saw the Rodgers and Hammerstein version on YouTube, it had Julie Andrews in it, so it had to be done, And Julie Andrews tells the basic stories, but you're right, there are so many, not only stage versions, but film versions. Seeing Billy Porter playing the fairy godmother, I went, ooh, we could do that. but it turned out that we didn't. So we ended up with a very, very good female fairy godmother, not quite as flamboyant as Billy Porter, but flamboyant in her very own way. But yeah, there's so many versions, and watching all the high school versions, good, bad, and indifferently done. But Rogers and Hammerstein, I think, said everything that needed to be said in the production. So
Awesome.
My turn.
Yes.
My
okay.
turn. So when you have a casting call for talent and crew, what qualities are you looking for in the cast? What kind of characteristics?
I think adaptability, that whatever you see as the character on your first very cursory read through the script in the audition process, but what they can do with it at first read. If I, as a director, say, okay, could you try it this way? And they will adapt and try it, sometimes something that's polar opposite of what they have just done. And everybody here is in the cast, well, except me. You got my part. Sure. That's what they all offered was, could you try it this way? Could you do this? Could you do that? And they were adaptable to that, because one of my graces or failings, I'm not sure which it is to see it done 10 times in rehearsal and go, could we do something a little different? And Sharon is going, mm-hmm. I think all of them have been ready to strangle me at any one point. But I think first and foremost is that adaptability. Will you try something different? I'm also looking for fearlessness on stage. How far are you willing to go for a character? And yeah, so I think those are the two things that and in a musical, yes, we want somebody that can sing or at least carry a tune, and then work on it from there. So
I think the director may have implied that there's a story to be
I want to know.
told here. Would you be open to sharing it?
Sure. So this is my first time on stage at all. I'd never auditioned for anything. It was actually thanks to Marina that I came out to audition in the first place, because we've been friends since I moved here, and she had mentioned, there's going to be they're pitching musicals next season. Oh, they've been approved. So we've got Cinderella happening. Oh, I have to go. You were planning on going to auditions, yes. And you said, okay, I'll go if you go, Helen. So I went.
We went because of each other.
Exactly. Yes. I really have no idea what normal theater is like. This is sort of my baseline. So if Sandy says can you try that again but do this? Okay, I need you to fall down a little bit differently this time. Okay, can you say that a little bit louder and put more emphasis on this part of what your lines are, or whatever.
Can you sneeze more dramatically?
Yes. I need you to remember to sneeze
exact
on
example,
stage,
or-
but also off stage. And okay, sure. Yep. If that's what you're looking for, then great. Okay. Yes. It's being fun. It's fun being told what to do for once instead of being the one in charge.
Well, Helen is a very dramatic character in the play, and so often Sandy's pushing her and trying to get her to do more and more of these really entertaining things that Helen sells so perfectly on stage. So I think that's why Sandy brought it up.
Well, thank you.
Well, I think one of the things that was amazing, too, my son and I were sitting way up at the top of the seats there during the audition process, and Helen was just acing everything that we asked her to do during the audition process. And so, we flipped through and got her audition sheet out again, and right under the section that says experience, it says no experience. I think it was followed with at all. I'm not really sure. And we both went, yeah, no. And so I actually stopped the proceedings, and Helen was on the upper stage, and I said, okay, so it says here no experience. Nah. Because, and again, there was the fearlessness and the willing to try anything, even during the audition process, that sold us on you, my dear.
Well, thank you.
And you sneeze well.
Which, I mean, depending on the role, can be an important characteristic to have. Is there anybody over on this side who this is maybe one of their first or second shows, or are you guys fairly?
This is my second. I have probably like the only, well, a little more unique for how I'm on this play. So I chose this one not to audition, but to do the stage managing aspect. Because I did my first play in the spring, and it was very tight-knit, small cast, adult-themed, like more of a thriller drama. And this is the complete opposite of that, like family-friendly, large cast, lots of kids. And I wanted to learn a lot of the backstage stuff since I only just learned the acting and the whole theater side things. So then halfway through this, the king dropped out due to a job he couldn't refuse and all that stuff. So then Sandy asked me, because there was almost nobody, and I just happened to be here every day anyway. So it was like okay, let's jump into the filling a role type aspect of, because that happens a lot in theater, I've noticed, and like more that adaptability of, okay, you're just gonna do it, figure it out on the fly, which I think is a different, unique aspect of it. And I'm really enjoying it because I wanted to learn a complete other side of theater, and even being on stage for this now, instead of stage managing, it's different being a musical, being a full cast, having all the kids around, and that kind of different form of chaos and things, and learning and things. So yeah, that would be mine. And yeah, as long as I learn something different each play, that's all I really want and stuff. Yeah.
So I'm in the film industry, and I've never done anything in theater, but I feel like it could be similar in ways that, like on short films, like indie films, you're not just given one job. Like an actor, you're wearing multiple hats. That seems kind of similar to the theater world. Like you wear multiple hats,
definitely.
and yeah, that's pretty neat. So everyone kind of has a role, but also, what else have you guys learned? Yeah.
I have been sewing so much. Yeah. Tanis Armstrong has just been amazing with all the costumes. She has her own business, and she uses a lot of upcycled products or materials. And so she taught me how to make pirate poofy shirts. So I think I've made 12 or 13 of them so far. And then, can you do this hem? Can you stitch this bodice? So lots and lots of sewing.
Didn't Jerry Seinfeld have a pirate shirt in an episode?
Yes,
Is it like
same
that?
idea.
Okay.
Almost to the knees.
You talk.
Okay. I think it's interesting you were talking about how like you sort of came in to replace somebody, because that's actually how I did my first acting at the studio theater as well. It was 10 times 2, and one of the actors had dropped out, and the rest of the director and the other 2 cast members were trying to figure out who fit the role. And for some reason, they landed on a guy who had practically no experience with the theater, 0 experience on stage, actively said he didn't want to be on stage. And yet they still phoned me at like 7 o'clock at night saying like, "Hey, Dad, what are you doing? Do you want to come and audition for a thing?" And I did. And I'll share my personal favorite memory from that, which was the moment where I realized I actually liked acting. And that was after one of the performances. We went as a sort of a cast and crew. We went out to the Oliver Street pub for drinks afterwards. And me and my buddy, we walked through the door. And as soon as we walked in, there was a table of 2 people right there that had been at the show that night. And they both got up and started clapping. As soon as we walked into the pub, I got a standing ovation. And it was like, I can get used to this feeling.
And now every time you go to the pub, you're like,
I expect it, yeah.
hey, where's my red carpet?
Sorry to interrupt. Apparently, the sound keeps cutting in and out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know if it's an internet or.
Okay.
I'll hold the mic because you're the tech guy, and I'm the person that doesn't stop talking sometimes. Oh,
Yeah.
Of course.
she's saying that the sound keeps
The
cutting
sound
out?
keeps cutting in and out.
Interesting.
So I don't know if that's just an internet thing or anything.
Oh, because we didn't use the MiFi thing or the MiFi? Wi-Fi?
We will, just to see if it fixes it, I'll try the other.
Please stand by. Oh, that's Jeopardy.
Unfortunately, we don't know how to put up one of those please stand by things, so you're just going to have to.
Anyone knows the words to the girl from Ipanema?
I'm going to say probably not. Yeah, we would need a lot of paperwork done before we could do that. Okay, all right. Well,
Blah, blah.
Blah.
it might, if it's an internet issue, this won't fix it. But I've plugged in a different audio thing into the microphone, and so hopefully that takes care of it. I appreciate the heads up, though. We have had issues with some of our streams, like sort of chopping, because we're getting not fantastic cellular connections in some of our locations, and I don't think this area is fantastic either. I know, right? Right, it should be amazing. It looks pretty good on the monitor there, right? Like it's not ever going to like 0, is it? Or did it just do a thing?
Again, I don't know what I'm doing. So
Okay, don't press the red.
there's like a red little mark, and it doesn't go above the red mark.
Yeah, we don't want it to go above the red mark, but we also don't want it, like while I'm talking right now, we don't want it to disappear either. It should disappear when I stop talking. But then it should come back as soon as I start talking again. So that means that the audio is getting to the camera, but it may be that the camera is not getting the audio to the internet. And if that is the case, it's unfortunate for the stream, but we are also recording a copy on the iPhone as well. So when it's all said and done, the version that lives on YouTube and a version of this will be uploaded to TELUS, where it will be on Optic TV for 10 years. That version, what? Are we shocked about something?
We're gonna go to be
You're on YouTube right now. This is YouTube live right now. Hi, say hi, universe. It's okay. We currently only have 14 subscribers, so the audience is pretty slim. I mean, the potential audience is huge. That's true, exactly. Those subscribers are going to jump through the roof at this
Yeah,
point.
no one likes us. Don't worry.
Okay, you ask a question now.
Why? Woo. Ooh, scary. Oh my God, we're on YouTube. Ah! So, how do you guys get over do you guys get nervous still before, like, who is the most experienced actor here?
Probably me.
Yeah? Do you still get nervous?
Sometimes it comes, where did that come from? I was not expecting to be nervous. Why am I nervous? So I always hope it doesn't come. And it does give you energy. And I find that getting your first line out, if you get your first line out and you nail it, then you can relax a little bit.
Is it nerve-wracking to not get the reaction that you were hoping for from the audience?
No, I don't think so. Because we practice so much without an audience or just with ourselves. No, that doesn't bother me.
I guess it's more like for comedians.
Yeah.
I think they would get a little sad if there was no one laughing. And
One thing that I find when I'm on stage can throw me is if I'm on stage, I'm in a scene, I'm doing my lines, and there's like a joke, and I hear a laugh in the audience that I recognize, and I didn't know that person was there. Like if I know they're there, I know to expect it. But as soon as I hear a laugh, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that person was here tonight, I'm a little bit thrown. Does that happen to anybody else?
Not really for me, but
Anything similar to that, or?
well, if say we're doing a scene and usually certain things get laughs, those get laughs, but then some nights we have a really interesting audience and then they laugh at things that have never had laughs before. So you kind of have to, reel it in. So yeah, every night's different. Every audience is different. They'll laugh at different things or groan at different things. Or some days you'll get laughs at everything. And then one day the audience will just be silent the whole time. So we just have to adapt to that and bring up the energy if we're not getting it from the audience in the same way other nights. So
so you do you guys ever adjust your performance for the next day if, say, there was like just a different vibe from the audience the night before, and then the next night, do you change it a bit?
Kind of. We keep what we've been rehearsing, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it kind of evolves as we're performing based on the energy that we're getting, because we'll act certain ways depending on the energy that we're getting. And the only thing that we really change is, maybe our volume needs to go up here or whatnot if the people at the back are having a hard time hearing. But I think it just, as it comes out, it changes. We don't necessarily like talk about it between shows, say, hey, we need to change this, unless there's a big issue. But yeah, it's more organic. Yeah. Yeah.
As a director, I've in the past found that like a show can continue to evolve once it's on stage, but not always in the way the director wants it to. And and I know it when I started here, I was taught like once it's on stage, it's the director's job is over. I very quickly ignored that advice. Because there are points where you need still to go in and tweak and fiddle. Does anyone have experience with that kind of thing, like having to sort of adjust things mid-show?
Learn to let go a bit of control?
Or that too, exactly, like learning to say, yeah, you have a comment?
Most of this cast has already heard this story, but you know Biddy Jones, yes. My mentor. I would say 99% of what I learned about theater, I learned from her, good, bad, or indifferent. And Biddy had the habit of changing things during performances. And I swear to all that is theater holy, closing night, she went to the cast before they went on and said, now, I really want to change this. She changed the intention. She changed the blocking. She even moved the set around because she thought it would work better.
For one more night.
For one more night, closing night. And the cast was absolutely tremendous. They just turned to her and said, no. And she went, oh. Okay, I wouldn't have asked you if I didn't think you were capable of doing that. And they just said,
Like Biddy when you said that.
yeah. I told you, I worked with her for years. Yeah, so, I mean, those sorts of things. And a director, and as a director, I sit over there usually in a chair if it's full house. And I call that affectionately the peanut gallery over there. And you're looking at, and even on closing night, you're going, I really shouldn't have done that in that scene, or I could have done this differently. And right to final curtain call, I think all directors are constantly going, if only I had this to do all over again.
You remind me of Todd right now.
Yeah.
And that's fair. There's a difference to me, though, between when I watch a show I've done and go like, oh, I've made a mistake there. I'm not going to try to correct my own errors because that time has passed. But if I've given a direction on a thing and an actor has, once the performance started, decided he's going to stray from that and do something he thinks is better, that's where I'll step in and say, no, please stop. You want to ask a question? No? Okay. Yeah, please.
Well, the unique thing about the community theaters around BC is that we do have festivals. So if you have a play that is going to festival and you're like, oh, I wish I could have done it this way, you do have that opportunity after the show is closed to fix those things, revisit, change the set a little bit, change certain scenes or whatnot, so that when you do go to a festival with a chance to go to main stage, you can fix those little things that have been bugging you. But yeah, during regular production, we don't really get that opportunity. Yeah.
As director of Cinderella, I promise all of you, and you may pass it on to the rest of the cast, I, Sandy Alaric, will not change things on closing night.
Look at the camera
And this is on YouTube now, so you can't go back on your word.
And if you do, together we will be saying no.
No.
And if you try, it's on YouTube now forever. So yeah, you got it. Didn't think about that, did you?
I have something fun to request. I'm wondering if we can just answer general questions about each other, but as your character. So like, what's your you know, ideal date or something like that. As you're going red. You're going red. Okay. So,
I mean, if you're Cinderella, it's going to be like, I guess, whoever finds your shoe.
right? You guys want to do that? Okay. Your fairy godmother is up. Todd, what would you like to ask fairy godmother? Serious. This is serious.
How old are you?
Very.
Like, are we talking? We're hundreds, probably, right?
Yes, in the hundreds, yes.
Yeah, no, I wasn't asking Sharon. I was
thought you were
asking.
asking Sharon,
No,
yeah.
we're talking to the characters now. So the fairy godmother is.
Is say 100. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Going on 40. Going on 40.
100? Oh.
Okay. And who else do we have here? Cinderella. What do you want to ask Cinderella?
Well, actually, what was your worst date?
I have not been on one.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
What's your attachment theory? Are you an avoidant? Do you just not like people?
I'm very kind to everyone, whether or not they are rude to me or push me around. So I don't really get, well, if they're kind to me, I'll be attached to them. But
Good.
yeah, I guess.
So then, have you practiced making out on anything in anticipation of a future date? No comment. I'm sensing a no comment here.
What's your shoe size? Do you know your shoe size? What is it?
7.5.
Okay, good to know. What's your favorite style of footwear?
Well, when I'm working flat, but otherwise, high heel is nice. Sparkly.
Oh, okay. Very nice. You're not part of the play, so I'm not going to talk to you.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Now, these are the stepsisters. Well, what's wrong with you? Why are you so mean?
Well, pretty well all I want is approval from my mom. And she is quite evil. And if I want approval from her, I have to make her happy by doing evil things to my sister and to Cinderella.
Is she evil though, or is she just misunderstood?
No, I think she's...
Not even a moment to reflect.
No. I think if you come see the show, you will learn, yes, she's really quite evil. I think, yeah. So I think that's
That makes sense.
how I feel about the world, yes.
It sounds like there's generational trauma happening.
Yes.
Now, do you guys get along?
Oh boy, I think we've got an answer here.
Well, I try to make myself shine with my dazzling intelligence because I'm named after the lawyer from.
What did you?
I just snort, but I can't snort as well as she does.
I try to dazzle with my intelligence because I'm named after the lawyer from The Merchant of Venice. But things just keep going wrong, and my big sister just doesn't let me have a moment of peace.
I feel the same way.
So we're at each other's throats quite constantly. Yeah.
Our names are very perfect. She's named after a lawyer in The Merchant of Venice, and I'm named Joy, and I rarely smile.
Give me your most evil laugh.
I don't know if I have an evil laugh.
Okay, I need.
Agree.
Oh God. Wow, that's impressive. That I could see that like an evil laugh, like in the top 3, like global competition.
There's a prince though. I can't. Oh, this is rated G.
Rated G, yes.
How did you guys meet again?
She just showed up at my birthday party.
She wasn't even invited, eh? Just showed up.
Just showed up, yeah.
She's got stalker girl energy. Is that right?
Could be, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mind when she showed up.
Are you into feet?
Not as much as it would appear.
Oh, that's interesting.
It just happens to be the only personal item she left behind was her shoe. So
Well, it's different than like, her leaving toothbrushes at your house and hairbrushes.
That's a little forward.
Girlfriendy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like once you're dropping off your toothbrush, you're making some
It's
big
official.
assumptions. Yeah.
Yeah. So are you guys official?
pardon?
Are you guys official, like
As
an official
characters,
couple? Are you a couple?
Prince and Cinderella. Yeah, we are now that we're married.
I mean, it
I don't
doesn't
know.
get much more official than that.
What do you do again? Who are you?
That's my dad.
I'm the king.
Oh, the king.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you're just about to lose your head after forgetting who he is.
Do you like your son?
I love my son.
That's a good dad. How about your daughter-in-law?
She makes him happy, and she especially makes my wife happy. So that's what matters.
Would you elaborate on that, please?
I have to do a lot of happy wife, happy life in my life. So that's about
You wash the dishes.
No, I have a steward and chef that do that.
Oh. How do you make your wife happy then? I don't understand.
By allowing this ball to happen with my money.
Oh, keyword being money.
I'm very cheap.
Okay. And that's how you have a lot of money, is you're cheap with it. I get it.
I'm cheap because I haven't had a ball in 5 years, but now I have to.
Is it a lot of work to organize a ball, or do you organize the ball?
I do not organize anything.
Are you a lazy king?
Lazy and fat.
Oh. Okay, sorry to hear that. Do they have gym passes available for kings?
I don't think Bowflexes exist yet.
Good answer.
Maybe, yeah.
You should maybe have one of your servants like design something for you.
Yeah, I should because I can't fit in my pants anymore.
Now, is this an actual problem that the actor is experiencing?
It's all character. You have to see the play.
Okay. Oh, okay. There's a joke about pants. Okay. Pants and shoes and any other clothing related content in the play?
I mean,
Well, the shoe, obviously.
we're very booby in our corsets, especially me.
It's you.
Yeah, especially me. So it's a constant fight for me to try to keep them in. Yeah.
Right.
So that's very much a costume thing, I feel like.
Yeah, fair enough.
I have no idea what boobs are like.
Yeah, me neither.
There's a terrific gag where Marina uses her ample bosom as a table, and then there was a bit where I attempt to do the same thing, but I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm not equally as endowed, so it falls rather flat, if you know what I mean.
That's a very good gag. Was that in the script, or was that something that you?
That was all her. It was all Marina.
Oh, it was all you. Very nice.
Well, I mean, they're they're kind of in the way, and you're wearing a corset of sorts, and it literally can be a table, and we're drinking tea, so it sits right on there perfectly, and it does not go anywhere, but Helen's does. So it was perfect, and we have to be funny. That's our role on stage, and bodily yes, exactly, that's right. And bodily humor is hilarious. So there you go. Yeah.
I have to pee, so I'm going to go.
On YouTube, I think you can. TELUS may have issues with it. We'll find
I
out.
have to pee is wrong? Come on.
Well, just keep saying it. We'll find out.
Pee.
Don't fall in.
All right. So I guess I'm alone to ask questions now. I don't know where to go. What? So I wanted to find out a little bit about what you guys have coming up for the rest of the season. Is there anyone who is sort of in a position to speak to that? Or okay, awesome.
So yes, I'm actually the president of the Williamsburg Studio Theatre. Yeah, yes. So after Cinderella, we have 2 other productions. Usually we have a season of 4, but we actually have 2 big musicals this year, plus a straight play. So after Cinderella, in the very early spring, we actually have Mamma Mia. And then in the later spring, May, we have Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So we have a pretty busy, full season, although we only have 3 productions, but they're all really, really
Yeah, 2
awesome.
musicals is big.
And large cast musicals. Yeah. So both, obviously, this one's cast. Mamma Mia is already cast and in rehearsals. And then Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde will be auditioning in January. So, yeah. And then that one's actually going to be submitted for our zone festivals, for a chance to go to main stage. Right. So, yeah.
Where is festival this year?
Festival for our zones is here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We were actually supposed to have it in 2020, but obvious things happened. We're also one of the...
Is it the first zone festival since COVID, or?
No. Okay. Well, for us, yes. Last year we didn't do festival. The year before, we actually had a traveling adjudicator because we were the only theater in our zone that had something to put on. Right. And we still wanted to be a part of zone festivals to go to main stage. But this is the first one since COVID that we have had an actual zone festival with all the other theaters in our zone, which is pretty exciting. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then main stage this year is back in Surrey. So they try to go back to the same place more than once in a row. So, yeah. I think that's about it.
Nice. I had a follow-up question, but I've lost it now. So, how
My
was
beauty distracted you? Did it?
I was so distracted. Yes. So now it's your turn to ask a question. Then.
I'm sorry. I don't know anything yet. I don't.
We're failing to look like professionals here. By the way,
you guys were just talking.
we were just talking about the rest of the season, and this is the 69th season, which that's exciting. Yeah. That's yeah. I did make reference to that in the.
Why is it so exciting? Why is it so exciting?
Well, because it's been so long. Like, how many other theaters have been around, especially independent, like small theater groups have been around for that many years. Like, it seems like, admittedly, probably 70 is going to be like a real exciting year, but 69 is, it's a fun number to say as well for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, when I made my first email address, I made sure to add 6969 in it, and I didn't understand why it was funny.
But it was because some part of you knew eventually you would be here celebrating the 69th season of the Williams Lake Studio Theater. Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Do you know? Does anyone know of anything like kind of exciting planned for the 70th season, or?
That's something that we are going to have a committee
Sure.
do, but we are in the hopes of planning something big for our 70th anniversary. Yeah, and there's only a very small handful of other volunteer community theater groups in the province that are older than us. We are one of the oldest ones in the province. So, yeah, some of the older ones are down in the Lower Mainland, but there's very few of them. Yeah.
And I think the reason for that is we're always constantly evolving. Some groups have like a little knot of 6 people and they get older and older and older, and the scripts get older and older and older. And we are constantly having younger people coming in. Like, we have so many kids in Cinderella, and they're amazing kids. So we embrace our young people.
Which, yeah, that is something you need to do, and that's definitely something I've seen in my time at the theater. Is Williams Lake Studio Theater is great for sort of constantly bringing in new people. Like, if not for that, I wouldn't have even gotten a start here. So,
I was just thinking, like, when I first got involved in the theater, it was back in the early 70s. And we met behind Kolomnica in a portable, which we shared with the Potters Club. And so you'd go for rehearsals, say, in April or May, which can be very warm here, and they had just shut their kiln off. So it was like rehearsing in a sauna in this little tiny portable. And we've had so many evolutions. You know, we had a theater up at the what was the college then and is now Pioneer Log Homes. I remember rehearsing in this theater when it was the school gym for Glendale, and all there was the proscenium arch. There was no thrust or anything like that. And then so we keep on evolving, and I think it was like Sharon saying, we have this constant rotation. We're not a closed club. I know I heard in years past, clubs down on the Lower Mainland, you did sort of an apprenticeship, you know, like for 3-4 years. You joined the club and you worked backstage, you did lights, you did everything before you even thought about auditioning. And then it was like, that's the new girl. You know, and you've been there for 4 years. So we haven't had that, you know, like people literally walk in off of Mackenzie Avenue into our theater and audition, and if they're good for the part, they've got it. And if they're not right for the part, it's like, hey, have you ever thought of stage managing? Or have you ever thought of, doing lights or painting, or come out to our set building? And then those people, you know, there's always a part written for some, you know, everybody has a part that's written for themselves, and that's how we suck them in, you know, so.
I mean, and on that sort of subject, does anyone have any particularly favorite memories, not necessarily of, you know, being on Cinderella, but any of the shows that you guys may have done? Maybe for some people it would just be Cinderella, but like, yeah, just sort of like a favorite memory of your time at the studio theater. Yeah.
I do, yeah. I know a lot of you probably do too. The building that Studio Theater is connected to is an old elementary school. My dad was the principal here for 14 years. And so this building is so special because I literally grew up as a child here and watching all of the theater that they would let children watch, I guess. And so it's just so special. And the fact that it's still here and we're holding on tight, even though there isn't school at the school anymore, it's more of a storage space. It's just a really welcoming place. And theater's always been a really welcoming situation for people. Come share your talents, come share your weirdness, because that's what makes everything interesting on stage, right? So it's just such a wonderful place, and the fact that there's many generations and people who've grown up in Williams Lake who are part of it, but also people who are new to town coming in and being part of that kind of really, really wonderful kind of family is so special. Like, the memories I have here are multifaceted. I was in a play when I was 13 here and did lots of theater in high school, but now coming back as an adult, the memories are still here, but it's a little bit different. It's just such a special place, and we're talking about nostalgic, absolutely. And we're talking about the 69th anniversary, and I'm just so excited to see that it's continuing. Like, there's no dip in audience or people wanting to be a part of it or volunteering. So it's just, there's a lot of hope that it's going to continue being as wonderful as I remember it to be. Yeah.
Awesome. Anybody else have a favorite memory they want to share, or? That's pretty much it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
My kids are now almost 40. And when my kids were little, I was in productions with my kids. So I was the Wicked Witch in Wizard of Oz, and I had literally 2 munchkins. And I was Mrs. Cratchit, and my daughter was one of the Tiny Tims. And working, I can't remember what show it was. It'll come to me. But anyways, my son was right into making stuff, so he helped me make props for the play that I cannot remember at the time. The Steinbeck one. Mice and Men, yes. Yeah, we're making dead mice together in the kitchen and things like that. Yeah, so my 8-year-old son was helping me.
How do you make that? Or do you just hammer?
Those ones. Surprisingly easy, Kelsey. You know, he ain't fresh. They smell. No, lots of things with little blobs of felt and yeah.
You have a question? I've asked a few.
I'm sorry, I don't know anymore. I'm bashful and shy.
Yeah, you're very.
No, I am actually not. I'm really hungry, and I just can't think of anything else right now. What's next for you as a director?
It's really funny. Usually by the time I'm even just 2 weeks in the past in a production, I'm thinking, oh, for the next one, I would like to do, and I can't think of one right now. You know, and the reality is this may be my last production just because of things. And part of me is going, whew, but the biggest part of me is going, no, it's not. So anyway, I am going to audition for the Jekyll and Hyde, but I mean, I know I'm not getting a part, but I've arranged with Tanis that I'm going to get her front of house organized. So there'll always be something. But as far as next production, I might be hungry too, because it's like, I cannot, nothing. I mean, things like Peter Pan and always in the back of my head, I've wanted to do West Side Story. Yeah. Love the music, but too many dancers involved, not enough dancers in town, lots of boys. Now we are cross-gendering, no, that's not the word I want.
West Side Story.
No, in Cinderella we've got
Cross-dressing.
cross-dressing. Gender bending, that's the word, thank you. I knew I cast you for a reason, you're my walking dictionary. That we are gender bending in this, and that, you know, we just did not have the boys come out to audition. So we got some of the girls who actually volunteered not to wear the fancy ball gowns that have been created. And so they're playing our boys. West Side Story can't do that so much.
They've done that in the movie recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there may be a chance. But again, the thing is the dancing. But again, that's always been in my back, in the back of my head. But you know, I just have to watch more YouTube and start looking at things. Yeah, particularly I've never even seen a podcast before, so be gentle with me. It's my first time. Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway, yes, I really can't answer your question, but I've just done that for quite some time now. Yeah. Is that I haven't got anything in the works, but you know, I never say never. So
you're not done yet.
No, I don't think.
Yeah,
so.
Good. I don't want you to be done. No.
I just realized though that we haven't talked. We've talked a lot about Cinderella, but we haven't talked about when it's going to be on stage, because it is coming pretty quick, and people watching this may want to like buy tickets. So maybe we can find out when it's on stage, where to get tickets, stuff like that.
You want me to get a poster?
There's
a poster right here.
It might be more interesting to hear somebody actually answer, but but if you want to just show the poster, that's fine.
Can I let Kirsten answer that?
Sure, yeah.
She's more organized about this.
Oh, thank you.
Presidents. Yes.
Okay, well, tickets you can get at the open book, or you can also get it off our website, boxoffice.wlstudiotheater.com or .ca. And we open next Wednesday. Sorry. November 29th through December 2nd. And then we have matinee on the 3rd, on the Sunday. And then the next week's the December 6th to 9th with a matinee on the 10th. And then the following week, 13th through 16th. Yeah.
Nice memory.
Well, I've had to write it very many times on our social media. But tickets are going fairly quickly. So if you want to get tickets, you need to get on that.
And how much are they?
Tickets for adults are $25, $22 for students and seniors, and then the matinees are $20. And if you get them online, there is a $2 charge per ticket. And the ones online, those ones are just $25. To get the discounted rates, you need to go to the open book.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I noticed there was a bit of a collective noise
Are
made.
you scared?
Is there anyone who's particularly concerned about opening next week that wants to, share their feelings? Okay, no. And when it's the director, it's especially worrying, right?
No, actually, I have no concerns whatsoever. Rehearsals are going along very nicely. The set is moving along apace. would, that we have a production, and we have a good one, because I was very, very clever in that I cast the best actors and singers in the world in this. So no, I put my hand up, but that was just sort of a reflex reaction. But no, we're ready to go, and I'm happy with everybody. So no, I'm really happy.
What about anyone else? Anyone want to dish some dirt about your terrors about opening night?
No, I mean, it's just crunch time, you know. There's lots of little things to be done, but there's always, when you're nervous about something, there's some kind of clarity in exactly what needs to be done and that it's going to get done, because it has to. So, because we're going on stage and it'll be fine.
I have a question now. Good. How do you guys prepare yourselves for your character? How do you get into character?
Actually, that's similar.
I'm not asking you.
Well, I know that, but I just wanted to say that that is similar to something that I was going to ask as well. So I was going to sort of piggyback on your question.
Okay, fine.
Because when I was on stage and I learned this sort of here, everybody has a different way of prepping themselves backstage right before they go on stage.
Push-ups?
Sometimes, yeah. And so I thought maybe to sort of kind of end things off in the same way that we opened up by going around everybody. Let's
character.
Not in character, just optionally in character if you want to do it in character, but not necessarily. What is your personal routine that you like to go through to prep yourself before walking out on stage?
In French.
In French, it's not happening.
It's so difficult, Kelsey.
Okay, I have to get that girl to have some faith in herself. I've got to get that girl to stand up for herself and to speak for herself. So.
Yeah, fairy godmother.
I do a lot of deep breathing, and I do really lame dancing to get me in the zone.
Yeah.
No, it's just like
Yeah.
more like keeping the frenetic energy going and stuff. And I try to do a lot of just letting go of everything in my head and just getting completely out. My mind's normally just racing of just anything, so just letting it completely be gone the second I come through that door, and that nothing else exists beyond what's on stage with your partners, because you owe it to them to do for what they need to do for you and everything, and just kind of exist in the moment.
I'm a super nervous performer, whether I'm singing, whether I'm acting, or whether I'm singing and acting. Yeah, and dancing. So, but generally, like in a theater context, I'll find my little spot backstage, sit down, follow along with the play in the script. And so I just feel like I'm prepared for whatever part I'm about to perform. I do sometimes do the push-ups just to get that, hopefully work some of that nervous energy out. Yeah.
For me, it's different for every show, depending on the character that I'm playing and the type of show that I'm in. But for musicals and, well, most shows, I do a lot of the deep breathing, like Aiden said. I do lots of jumping in my own spot. Sometimes I get a little silly and I, like hugging people and whatnot. But if people don't want to be near me, that's totally fine. But then I also run lines in my head. I go through the songs in my head, especially ones that just, there's a specific line that I'm like, in my head, I think, I'm going to mess this up. And that's why I run in my head and I think, if I don't run into my head, I'm going to mess it up. But I don't. So, well... No, but again, it's different for every show, and I find different routines with different acting partners and stuff like that. Yeah.
For me, because this is a musical, I'm always worried about my singing voice. I'm always worried about how much phlegm I have in there. So I think that's actually my biggest worry before a show. So I'm definitely trying to get rid of anything that might make my voice sound weird. I always go to the bathroom before. There's always that nervous, and it's uncomfortable when you have to go to the bathroom and you have to be on stage. So always go to the bathroom. So always a good vocal warm-up bathroom, but also I don't like to be by myself too much for a long period before the show, but maybe a little bit quiet for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes before. I think I'd get in my head too much otherwise. But yeah, I think, probably as the overture's going, I'm probably getting a little bit silly because it's exciting and nervous, and we're lucky we're kind of together backstage at the beginning, and so we're always giggling and stuff. So it definitely helps to be together and feeling a similar energy. So
Is it comforting to know that other people are just as scared?
Yes, 100% it is. Yes, absolutely. Well, and it's exciting. You know, we're doing this together, and musicals are so fun. So at least you're getting into that, like, we're about to give the audience a whole bunch of energy, and it's there. We have it. So we're going to go on stage and share it. So, yeah.
I think something you kind of touched on a little bit is that we're together as stepsisters like the whole show essentially. So that is comforting for me, given that I like have no idea what I'm doing. But like, just so I don't really have to be alone with my thoughts at any point. I just I get to share in my kind of manic, what's happening with Marina, which is fantastic. I don't know. I felt like as soon as we got costumes on, I was like, oh, now it begins. Now I'm like, now I can, and like we're in corsets the whole time. So like there's literally a ruler in the front. So I have posture the whole time. And that's like, oh, suddenly I can't just slouch in my chair. That act of having to be with good posture made like a shift in my brain. So like, I don't know, I'm kind of figuring it out still, but like, yeah, definitely feeling the frenetic energy and getting to be silly when the overture is playing and we're just standing around and like bopping our heads and being silly for like the first 10 minutes that's helpful, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think true what you said about the costume is that like, yeah, you never really feel completely the character until you're in the clothes, until you're moving in the clothes and seeing how they make you feel.
Makeup and the hair, and then makeup and hair too. Once you get that on, you're like fully in your mask. So
Yeah.
Posture too. I find the posture is just like Helen mentioned the corset. That was like, oh, I'm in a different era. Like I'm holding myself differently. Like I look a little more confident because boy, do we act confident on stage, even though we aren't.
You had that TV tray. That TV tray of yours, that's the confidence.
That's right. I lead with that. I don't have any choice.
And Sandy, you're obviously not going to be doing any backstage prep. So, like, what is your routine on an opening night when you know an audience is going to see a show for the first time?
Mostly it's just I stay out of the way. You know, it's at about this stage that more and more, I don't want to use the word control, but functioning of the play is turned over to we've got 2 stage managers. And so more and more, I have to turn more and more of that over to the stage managers. Because virtually my job is done. By the time we get to dress rehearsal, I have no purpose in the play anymore other than that I have a name. It's like letting your baby out of the nest. You know, okay, go, fly, but you can't help worrying about them. Other than that, between when the curtain actually goes up to the backstage stuff that's happening before that, my job is that I lead we always do circle before a performance, vocal warm-ups, which I do. Just the general pep talk, which is so very seldom needed, but it makes me feel better. And so that's it. It's just stay out of the way, you know. Although this time I am going to be helping with a bit of makeup and hair, which is something I've never done before, and it's absolute death. You know, I usually tell a cast, if you see me backstage, you have the right to scruff of the neck and boot me out, but I will be. So it's going to be hard not to go, you know, and in scene such and such, I would really like you to, and you know, but...
So you found a way to sneak yourself backstage.
I did. Yeah, I've never done it before, so it's taken me 50 plus years, and I finally figured out how to do it. I'll help with makeup.
You get to change lanes, though, right? That's the beauty of theaters. You know, people say stay in your own lane. It's like, but here you can change.
You can have multiple lanes. Yeah.
Yes, I have created a lane for myself, you know. So, yeah, and it's not one that I would normally do. I've never done it before. I've always stayed backstage, you know, away from backstage. So I've stayed backstage. So.
Bye. I think we're done.
Well, I think we might need I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 more minutes.
Okay.
So hang on.
Not quite done
Take
yet.
the mic. I'm gonna go look at the time on the light screen.
Great.
Oh, it has been taken.
Take two.
Uh-oh. No, I'm kidding.
See, he's
30 seconds, guys.
Do you want to say hello to your daughter?
Hi, Megan. Hi, Alina. Anyone else?
That's okay. With this time left, I'm not worried.
Abigail?
You want to say hi to your parents?
Sure. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Thanks for being on a stream with us last night. It was weird and fun.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. I'll see you soon because I live with you.
Anybody else got it? No.
Hi, Dad. I can't wait for you to come see the show.
All the way from the island.
All the way from Nanaimo.
Oh, very exciting.
Yes.
Anyone else have final messages for anybody? Okay. Okay. Everybody else, they don't care about their parents, I guess. So like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Cinderella.
Yes. And thanks everyone here for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you. Yeah. Bye.